Hello, Murray Newlands with Your Story here in Austin with Liva from.
Merrybubbles Communications.
Now, you do a lot of work with startups from foreign countries, helping them to come to America. What is your tips and advice for that?
Well, the first tip and advice that I would give those startups is to basically accept that whatever works or worked in their country is not necessarily work in the US.
Right.
Because culturally you may have tiny differences, and something that's tiny in India, for example, and doesn't have, much of an importance for the culture there could be a deal breaker here, and vice versa. You really have to work with a team or with somebody who can tell you culturally what works or what doesn't work. That's really the first trap I would avoid.
How do they find that person? What should they do?
So basically, there's a few things that they can do. They can connect with their foreign, consulate here in the U.S.
Yes.
Depending on in which country city they want to move to, or they can just very quickly look at the ecosystem of startups, and there's always registries where people are and you can find people, or they can just talk to me, of course. Very easy.
What other tips would you have?
The other tip is feedback. Feedback is very, very important. It's really related to the first tip that I gave. It's basically you have to be able to be very humble and accept that when somebody gives you feedback, whether it's pleasant or not, it's really not the point. It's just that they're trying to get a message across, so you really need to step back a little bit and consider how can that be integrated into what I'm doing now? How is it possible? And what can I change? Because it's just not a criticism against you. It's just a tip for your company to do better.
And obviously there's also that cross-cultural thing with feedback as well. In Britain, people tend to be a little bit more reserved. So if to say, I'm not quite sure if that will work, that means don't do it. I hate it. Whereas other people, so that cross-cultural thing about feedback also matters.
Exactly, it also matters. But this is why when you look for somebody to help you, or a company or an agency, whatever, to come to the US, make sure you have a great fit with that person. And when you decide that this is the person, like you shortlist 2 or 3 persons and you decide on one, the thing that you're going to really have to look at is whether you feel very comfortable just laying all your cards on the table. And sometimes you may have dirty stuff in the bag that you don't want to tell people. You know what? If you can tell this to that person, this is the person you want to hire, because they're going to make sure that this never comes out and smashes against your face in the future. So that's really what I would say.
If people want to find out more information and connect with you, how do they do that?
Oh, super easy. They can find me on Twitter. So they can find the company. It's at Merrybubbles. So it's Merrybubbles, as in Merry Christmas, but with bubbles. Or myself, at Liva Judic, Livajudic, or again via email, Liva at merrybubbles.com. But you just Google me and you find me everywhere. Very easy. Thank you.
Thank you very much. From Austin, we'll see you next time.